station working for you. This is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Thanks for joining us tonight for WRTV News at 11. I'm Nicole Griffin, joined by meteorologist Kyle Mounts. And Kyle, for a Saturday in November, today was not all that bad outside.
Yeah, especially with that sunshine. It was shining out there bright and beautiful earlier today. We've still got the clear skies and a nice shot of the city here from the IMS Pagoda. Those temperatures, though, with the clear skies, they're starting to turn a little bit colder out there. We're at 36 degrees right now. Feels like 30. That wind, though, it's under 10 miles per hour and should stay fairly light for us as we go through the overnight. Temperatures knocking on the door of the 20s there in Bloomington, already down to 30 degrees at the freezing mark in Greencastle. A little warmer right now in Muncie, though, at 39. All clear across central Indiana and the Ohio Valley. You can see there's some active weather off to the south. First, we'll notice an increase in those clouds gradually overnight, so we'll have partly cloudy skies in the morning, and those temperatures will start off right around 30. We're already close to 40 degrees by 10 a.m. We've got changes, though, that are coming our way. After that dry and pleasant Sunday, we've got the chance for some snow showers, and it's going to feel much colder on Monday with wind chills in the 20s. Coming up, we'll talk about how much snow we can expect.
All right, Kyle, thank you. Well, this year, Small Business Saturday could be a lifeline for some local stores. Many small businesses in central Indiana have been forced to close their doors or reduce capacity during the pandemic. Tonight, our Troy Washington shows us why business owners hope that people shopping local this holiday season will help them survive.
Felicia Kiesel has owned this store for nearly a decade.
I didn't know what to expect. This is my 8th Small Business Saturday owning the business, and it's always our busiest day of the year, but I did not know what to expect. But it's been good, and I've been getting online orders as well.
This Small Business Saturday doesn't feel like past years.
Small Business Saturday looks a little different this year with curbside pickup and social distancing, but that's not keeping customers from coming out.
She says local owners are adapting to the times and figuring out how to survive the pandemic.
When you're supporting a local business like myself, you are directly putting your funds back into the community. So this is my livelihood, so my mortgage and putting food on the table. This is how I survive.
And that's exactly what Jordan Scholl was up to on Saturday when WRTV caught up with him.
Struggling right now. I remember when the quarantine first happened, first thing I did was call and buy a gift certificate.
Since moving to the Circle City from Florida, he says he's gotten to know Kiesel.
She knows my kid's name. She was part of our life when my wife was pregnant. So, yeah, it's the community thing that I value.
Making his reason for shopping local and supporting this shop owner a personal one. And it means so much since she says she goes the extra mile to handpick everything she brings to her store.
75 local and handmade artists in store. A little bit of everything that I love. I handpick everything in store.
On top of that, local stores are planning to still give back even though they are struggling. 10% of Small Business Saturday sales will go to the Domestic Violence Network. Working for you downtown, Troy Washington, WRTV.
Troy, thank you. New COVID-19 cases in Indiana dropped below the 5,000 level today for the first time in almost 3 weeks. Still, the state reported 4,535 new cases today as elevated case levels continue. The death numbers are also high. 66 new deaths were reported by the state health department today. That brings Indiana just shy of 5,400 since the pandemic started. And after a one-day drop, hospitalizations were back up. 3,381 Hoosiers are being treated for COVID-19 in hospitals. That's only 3 shy of the state's all-time high. The Butler men's basketball team is postponing 2 more games following a positive COVID-19 test. In a statement, Butler says the individual is not showing symptoms and is in isolation. The 2 additional postponements are games for December 6th and 11th. The Bulldogs had already announced tomorrow's game being set aside. The program is shutting down all activities through at least December 10th. The positive test came after Butler's opening game this past Wednesday. Mayor Joe Hogsett will continue to quarantine until the end of this coming week. However, the mayor's office says both Hogsett and his wife Steph tested negative for COVID-19. The Hogsetts have been in quarantine after coming into close contact with someone who later tested positive. The mayor and his wife say they have not shown symptoms, but they will remain in isolation until this Friday, December 4th, under guidelines from the CDC. There's new concern that COVID-19 cases could rise again over the next several weeks. That is because millions of Americans ignored travel warnings from the CDC and other health officials over the Thanksgiving holiday. ABC's Christine Sloan has more.
With millions of Americans traveling home this weekend, there are growing concerns Thanksgiving gatherings may lead to a surge in cases of COVID-19. The CDC projecting the U.S. death toll could top 321,000 by December 19th. The total number of cases in the U.S. now tops 13 million. This week, 24 states setting new record highs for hospitalizations. Healthcare workers stressing the importance of following public health guidelines.
This is what you'll see at the end of your life if we don't start wearing masks when we're out in public, when we don't practice social distancing, when we don't wash our hands frequently.
Dr. Joseph Varon says he has been working for 254 consecutive days since the pandemic began.
They come in very, very sick. And when you ask them, how did you get it? Where did you get it? They basically tell you that they didn't follow any of the things that we've been asking them to please follow.
California averaging more than 13,000 cases a day for the past week. Los Angeles County issuing a modified stay-at-home order that goes into effect Monday.
Please do not gather with people outside your household. We're really trying to ensure that for the next 3 weeks, we do everything we can to get the surge to decrease.
In the northern part of the state, in Silicon Valley, Santa Clara County limiting capacity of indoor businesses and issuing a mandatory 14-day quarantine for anyone traveling 150 miles from home.
This pandemic is like a high-speed train, and our projections tell us that we are on target to derail by around the third week of December if we don't apply brakes right now with all our collective might.
With just 53 days until he takes office, President-elect Joe Biden's transition team announcing Saturday the addition of 3 new members to his COVID-19 advisory board, including a nurse, an epidemiologist, and a member of the Navajo Nation. Biden saying in a statement he wants a team that offers diverse perspective and viewpoints. Christine Sloan, ABC News, New York.
Christine, thank you. Today, dozens of supporters for President Donald Trump were in downtown Indianapolis for a Make America Great Again movement rally. This group gathered outside of the Indiana State House, and they were holding signs for Trump and waving American flags. The speakers said they were standing up for freedom and trying to show their support for Trump. They also spoke about not trusting the election process and the results showing Joe Biden won the election.
Our government isn't concerned that less than 50% of Americans trust the integrity of our election. They don't care that half of us don't trust our election. Let's be for real here.
After the rally here at the State House, the group had several other plans, including a march and car parade throughout downtown. Meanwhile, President Trump's effort to subvert his election loss took another blow today. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court threw out another election-related lawsuit. Pennsylvania Congressman Mike Kelly and other Republicans wanted to block certification of Pennsylvania's vote. They were trying to invalidate a law passed by Pennsylvania's Republican-controlled legislature that allowed for no excuse absentee voting. The court said that Republicans should not have waited until after this year's primary and general elections to object to the law. President-elect Joe Biden won Pennsylvania by more than 80,000 votes. Colder weather and the potential for snow are coming soon, and coming up, how advocates are reminding Hoosiers that it's time to make sure our pets stay nice and warm. Kyle.
And yeah, we are about to get in on a taste of winter here. Those precipitation chances are going to increase tomorrow night into Monday morning, and that means the chance for both rain and snow. We'll detail that with TrueCast. Look ahead to a cold start to the week. You're watching WRTV News at 11.
From the station working for you, this is WRTV News at 11, streaming now.
Police in Lawrence are still looking for a suspect in a fatal shooting. Officers were called around 5:30 this morning to East 50th Street and North Franklin Road. Police say the shooting victim was a man who had an interaction with passengers in a car before shots were fired. Detectives are still trying to learn more about that interaction. The identity of the shooting victim has not been released. Tonight, Metro Police are still looking for a missing 75-year-old man. Police say Alvin Yates Jr. was last seen on Tuesday on the northeast side of Indianapolis. Investigators say he made threats that he was going to hurt himself after receiving recent medical results. He is described as 6'3", 235 pounds with gray hair and brown eyes. Police say he wore a suit to breakfast on Tuesday morning and left his cell phone at home. Yates was last seen driving a 2002 blue Ford Ranger pickup truck. If you think you have seen Mr. Yates or you know where he is, contact Crime Stoppers. That number is 317-262-TIPS. While we prepare for the possibility of snow, animal advocates are making a big push to educate pet owners about leaving their animals outside. WRTV's Kara Kenny spent time with Friends of Indianapolis Dogs Outside this week to find out why they are focusing on 8 specific areas of the city.
Indianapolis ordinance says when the weather hits below 40 degrees, dogs that stay outside have to have a shelter that's big enough for them to stand up and turn around in, has a flexible cover, and also has insulation. Fido says straw is the best kind because it doesn't hold any moisture. Volunteers with Friends of Indianapolis Dogs Outside are loading up and heading out onto the streets.
We're going out now really because we know the weather's going to start getting miserably cold.
They're focusing on 8 hot spots. The dark areas of this map, like the east side, are neighborhoods where the city gets the most animal control calls and violations. Chelsea Fargo saw it firsthand when she worked for Indianapolis Animal Care Services.
Usually it was on the, the lower income sides of the city. You would see the dogs chained up outside. All the animals were usually unaltered most of the time. Most of the time they mean well and they love their pets, just like family, but they just need help.
Their first stop is a family that keeps their dog outside. After making sure the dog has proper shelter, Fido offers to spay their pet for free.
Helping you get her spayed, is that something you guys wanted help with and vaccinated? It would be free.
And gives them pamphlets with more information.
We let people know we're here to help. We want to help you keep your dog in the home. We don't want the dogs to end up at the shelter, but we just want the dogs to have, a good quality of life.
Their next stop is a German Shepherd chained up outside. Fido was concerned because the dog appears thin and they suspect the chain may be too short and the doghouse is on the small side. They go knock on the door, but no one answers, so they make a note to come back. Although Fido cannot write citations, they can pass cases on to the city if they're not seeing any improvement.
If it's to the point where the conditions are really poor, the animal is suffering, and the people are not willing to make improvements, that's when Animal Care Services can step in.
The Animal Care and Treatment Ordinance requires you to bring your animal inside when the temperature hits 20 degrees or below, life-threatening temperatures, especially for short-haired dogs. Fido also provides dog houses and insulation to those in need. As frigid weather approaches, they hope their efforts will save the lives of many furry friends. Working for you, Kara Kenny, WRTV.
Great reminders. Thank you so much, Kara. Well, if you think you have an animal or you see an animal that is suffering or in danger, you can call the Mayor's Action Center. If it's a night or weekend, make sure to call the IMPD non-emergency line. And if you can, also contact Fido directly for help. Kyle.
And we are going to have some cold days here as we get into the start of the work and school week. Temperatures out there right now on the chilly side, certainly, but not bad for mid to late November here. We've got 36 degrees in Indianapolis, 34 in Kokomo, and still holding on to 40 in the Bloomington area right now. As we look at overnight lows, temperatures will fall back to around the 30-degree mark. A couple of upper 20s out there around Columbus and Terre Haute at 28 degrees. We look at TrueCast. We are going to have more clouds tomorrow. We had hardly a cloud in the sky today, but it will kind of filter out the sunshine. I think as we get into the afternoon hours, though, kind of notice that thicker gray cloud cover that's going to be in place. So we will go to mostly cloudy skies, but still I think we're going to be dry. Good news if you're heading off for the Colts game or any errands you may have to run tomorrow, but temperatures will be at noon in the middle 40s for us, and we'll get around 50 degrees. You certainly want to enjoy that because it might be the last 50-degree reading here for a little while. 54 in the Bloomington area, 51 in Muncie and Indianapolis, and about 52 in Lafayette. The changes start to roll in here Sunday night into Monday morning. TrueCast, we jump ahead to 11 o'clock tomorrow night. There you can see some rain down along the Ohio River. As we go into the overnight hours, we'll start to see some colder air working its way in. Potential for some light snow and rain showers for us. The bulk of this system still looks like it's going to be over in Ohio. But as we get into the day on Monday, some snow showers may mix with a little bit of rain at times. And then we actually get some lake effect snow showers going here later in the day Monday, lasting into Tuesday. As far as snow accumulation, I do think this is going to be changing here, but just want to show you that most areas not going to see a lot of snow out of the system, less than an inch or so. Once we get into the eastern third of the state, that's where we could see some heavier amounts, but still we're only talking about 1 to 2, maybe 3 inches, and we may see a narrow band of that across northern communities as well as you get into some of that lake enhanced snowfall. As far as temperatures though, on Monday, as we stay near to above the freezing mark, that's also going to melt a lot of that snow as it comes down. But it will be cold and it will be windy, so that will give us wind chills on Monday in the 20s, a high of just 37 there. We stay cold and breezy on Tuesday, a high of 35. Temperatures only moderating into the lower 40s. It's still a little below average for this time of year. And then another system could bring us some rain and snow chances for the end of the week and into next weekend, Nicole.
All right, Kyle, thank you. While some people worked on their holiday shopping lists today, others are struggling to make ends meet. Our Cornelius Hawker shows us how a pastor is helping those in need and what you can do to support his mission.
Like he's done for the last 25 years, Reverend Richard Hunter is getting ready to make sure those who need help this Christmas season get it.
It's not just a meal. It's a week's worth of groceries.
The Reverend is talking about all the food he gives away, much of it purchased by him and his wife, to give to those in need. He tells us why he makes sure all the items he gives away can last for more than one meal.
Take the money you would have spent on groceries and make sure your utilities on. If your child needs a toy, make sure that you go buy your child a toy if they don't have one. Do those other things to make Christmas more Christmassy.
On December 11th, Richard Hunter Ministries and Martin University will be giving Christmas help boxes to those in need. But because of the pandemic, the need is so much greater this year. That's where Reverend Hunter is hoping the community can step up and help.
We're asking for donations to buy this food. This is brand new food. It's not food that's been in the store or any of that stuff. It's coming straight out of the warehouse through Kroger's. We pick it up at Kroger's and put it in the box.
The Reverend tells me they plan to give out 550 boxes on the 11th, and he has faith they'll be able to pull it off.
This is a blessing for us to be a blessing to someone else.
Working for you, Cornelius Hawker, WRTV.
Cornelius, thank you. And if you can donate to Reverend Hunter's Christmas Help Program, you can contact him at the number right on your screen. We also have the number if your family needs help this holiday season. We have all this information right now at our website, WRTV.com. A reminder, WRTV wants to see your holiday cheer. Share a picture of your light display for a chance to win tickets to the Christmas Nights of Lights show at the Indiana State Fairgrounds. For more information, just go to WRTV.com and click on the contest tab. It's been a long, strange season, but at the end, one thing holds up: the high school football state finals on Thanksgiving weekend. Coming up, see which local teams had championship performances today. A busy weekend for football continued today and tonight at Lucas Oil Stadium. A trio of local high school teams are walking away as state champions. Brad Brown has a recap of the action, plus a look at IU's latest Big Ten win.
Day 2 at the football state finals, Bishop Chatard and Danville meeting in the 3A championship. The Trojans rolled out fast, built a 21-0 lead. Tommy Hannon running in 2 of those first 3 scores. Danville would get on the board in the second quarter. Cale Payne finding Luke Wooten on the screen pass. He found some open space and goes all the way. 36-yard touchdown for the Warriors. But Chatard got one more before the break. Carter St. John found Thomas Coleman, their second TD connection. It was 28-7 advantage at halftime. The Trojans kept doing what they've been doing all season. Hannon with his third touchdown run of the night. It is Chatard's 15th football state championship. Now back-to-back 3A champs with a 42-14 win.
It was our coaches pushing us to our full potential. They know even if we got to win that we can work harder and we can always improve on our mistakes. and they've always just taught, just be physical for 4 quarters and fight hard.
We had to scratch and claw, and sometimes that makes you a little tougher. A little grit we had to find early on through the COVID and some tough games, and we came through some tight spots against some really good teams this year, and I think every week that prepared us.
The Class 1A final had a pair of first-timers, Covenant Christian facing South Adams. CC gave up an early score, but quickly got things going in their favor. Micah Wilson got loose on a late first-quarter run, 27 yards to the end zone, part of a 230-yard performance for Wilson. The Warriors built a 27-6 lead at halftime. A wild fourth quarter saw South Adams score 4 straight touchdowns and take the lead. Covenant answered with a couple more big plays. Austin Frazier to Adrian Terry on a 31-yard strike. That tied the game at 34 all with 5 minutes left. After a stop, it would be Gage Coffey getting loose on a run. 34 yards later, CC had retaken the lead, but they would still have some work to do. South Adams scored with 90 seconds left. Starfires went for 2 to take the lead, but the Covenant defense gets the stop. And the Warriors close out their first state title in any sport with a thrilling 1-point win to finish the season.
Just being underrated throughout the year and finally getting the recognition that we deserve as a team, it makes it all worthwhile.
You can't say enough about the character, the calm confidence, the leadership, the heart. They make me a better man by being around them. Everybody just knows we're going to get a ring, we're going to get another big trophy, and it's going to be awesome.
The weekend's final game featured Cathedral and Zionsville in 5A. The Irish put up the first 3 touchdowns, including a pair of scoring passes from Nathan McCahill. This one to tight end Parker Spalacy. In the second quarter, it would be Cam Jordan making some moves to find the end zone. Cathedral built a 22-0 lead. They held the ball for 16 of the first 18 minutes. Zionsville would get one before the end of the half. They added another to open the third quarter. Josh Stone finding Luke Baumgardner for the 20-yard TD. That same pair would connect again later. The Eagles get within 8, but the Irish able to get one back with the longest play of the game. McCahill finds David Perry over the middle. A defender slips, and it's a track meet from there. 75 yards later, Perry is in the end zone for Cathedral. They take a 2-score lead to the fourth quarter. They're looking to clinch the school's 13th football state title if they hold on for the win. Saturday saw IU back at home taking on Maryland. A sluggish first half, the Hoosiers managed just a single score. Stevie Scott running in on the direct snap, only 7-3 at halftime. Scott would score twice more in the second half. The Indiana defense was great again. 3 takeaways and 3 sacks against the Terrapins. IU wins 27-11. They improved to 5-1. They're scheduled to make a trip to Wisconsin next Saturday. Purdue gave up 3 third-quarter touchdowns, including a 100-yard kickoff return. Rutgers wins in West Lafayette 37-30. All 5 Purdue games have been decided by 7 points or less. And Ball State gets another MAC win, 27-24 at Toledo on Saturday. Drew Plitt threw for 304 yards and 2 touchdowns for the Cardinals. Brad Brown, WRTV Sports.
All right, Brad, thank you so much. It was a record-breaking day for Buffalo running back Jarrett Patterson. Today, he tied an NCAA record with 8 rushing touchdowns in a single game in Buffalo's 70-41 win over Kent State. Patterson also rushed for 409 yards in the game. That is the second most in FBS division history. Wow, that is impressive. Well, a lot of people who heard his story thought he got a raw deal, but now that the paint has dried, the colors of his life are much brighter now. We'll share his story with you next. You're watching the news at 11 right here on WRTV. You may have heard the story of the Ohio University student who lost his job after Sherwin-Williams Paints discovered his popular paint mixing TikTok channel. Tony Pilascino, oh my goodness, says he had tried to convince the company to use TikTok to market to young people. Sherwin-Williams fired him instead. He wasn't without a job for long. Tony says every major paint brand reached out to him, but instead he is taking a job with a smaller company called Florida Paint. He says it's because of the owner's passion for paint, Kyle.
Well, it all worked out,
I was going to say the same thing. Hey, maybe for the better.
All right. Well, as we check out that 7-day forecast for you, nice weather tomorrow. Clouds increase, but November, it's going to go out on a colder note here with temperatures in the 30s and some rain and snow showers to start the week.
All right, Kyle, thank you. And thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you right back here tomorrow night at 6 o'clock.